The Lakers had one of the most confusing offseasons in the entire league. They finally got the center they needed for basically the entire time LeBron was there. They traded for Walker Kessler, and then with that, they brought in Quentin Grimes, Colin Sexton, and Mamu to round out their depth. But the more you dig into what they gave up, the money behind these moves, the more questions start to pop up. We gonna get into that in this video.
Let's start with Mamu. Last year with the Toronto Raptors, he averaged 11 points, 5 rebounds, while shooting 39% from three on 3.5 attempts per game off the bench. Offensively, it's a great fit, but the problem is his defense is pretty bad. I'm thinking they're hoping he's the Rui replacement, but one thing Rui can do that he can't, Rui can play pretty decent defense, and that's a problem the Lakers have right now.
Yeah, I mean, I offensively it's gonna be he's a cool role player. He's not bad, but it's just the amount you're paying for him for a guy who I don't think ever really I mean, he started obviously, but he's never been consistently started on an NBA team in his entire career. There's a jump from playing with the bench guys to them starters. So, which I think they're planning to start him. So we'll see how it works out. I just think they pay way too much. $52 million, like I said, for a guy who's averaging 11 points is crazy. Next, with the Lakers moves, obviously they extended Austin Reeves 4 years, $185 million, making him the highest paid undrafted player in NBA history. Congratulations. It's easy to justify, when you look at just stats. Last season he put up his best numbers: 23 points on 50% shooting, 36% from three, with 5.5 assists and 4.7 rebounds and a steal. But he played a career low games, 51 games, lowest his entire career, during dealing with calf and oblique injuries along the way. The way I look at it is that the Lakers are hoping he turns into a co-star next to Luka, a number two option, like a Kyrie Irving type role from Dallas. You know what I mean? If you know what I'm saying. But in LA, I don't think Reeves is that type of player. I don't think he's that caliber of a player. He's a great starter, but being that solidified number two option is a completely different a level. It's a completely different level. On a $185 million deal, if he doesn't take another leap, which he just took, the best leap of his entire career, if he's gonna take another leap, it's gonna look like an overpay, which I think is an overpay. And especially if he continues to miss games like he did this past season, it's gonna look bad. I don't think Reeves is he's like I said, he's a great starter. He's better than a role player. He's not I wouldn't call him a role player, but a solidified number two trying to win a championship. I don't know if Austin Reeves is that guy.
Asking Austin Reeves to take another jump after pretty much making 2 to 3 jumps already in his career is a big ask. I mean, he's great offensively, but he's a cone on defense, man.
That's kind of like a trend with their entire
It's not a
roster.
trend. Another signing they did was bringing Colin Sexton. Before he got traded to the Bulls, he was actually trying to compete to get in the playoffs. But then, once he got to the Bulls, you could tell, have fun out there, man. You pat him on the back. Good luck. But before going to the Bulls, he averaged 14 points, 3.5 assists, 2 rebounds for about 22 minutes a night for Charlotte, shooting his career best 48% from the field and shooting almost 40% from three. He's a great offensive player. He can help get his own shot, good off the dribble. That is why Cleveland took him with the 8th overall pick back in 2018. It hasn't really changed much, hasn't really improved as much. But like we keep saying, which is going to be the biggest problem with his team for the season, Duke can't defend.
Cone, bro. He's a cone.
Yeah,
What's that?
Yeah, D'Angelo Russell cone. Oh yeah, that's going here.
Remember the Patrick Beverly one, bro? He's talking about Chris Paul. You gotta play that. You know what we call him? We call him a cone.
And CP can't guard nobody, man. Everybody in the NBA know that. Everybody know that.
Anybody.
What we call him? Cone. You know what you do with cones? Like when in the summertime, you got a cone. You make a move. What does the cone do?
Stay still.
Exactly. He's a cone. Stop playing, man.
But nah, I mean Sexton. Like I said, when he's hot, he's hot. He can carry you to a win. You know what I mean? He can do that.
He can give you
But
30.
but then he can also
He can shoot you out of games.
yeah, he can also shoot you at the game and go over 10. He's super inconsistent, but he's kind of he's like a wild card almost. Like, he really you just getting dookied on. Like, yo, Sexton, go get him. But like, I don't know. I don't think it's a. I mean, it's a cool sign. It's not. I don't think they overpay for him that much, you know. But they just have so many guards on their team, just guards that can't play any defense at all. So I don't really know how that's gonna work. One of the worst moves of the Lakers all season, besides the Wall Kessler move, because that one's just peak terrible. They signed Quentin Grimes to a 4-year, $60 million deal with a player option on the back end. For most of Grimes' career, he's been a classic 3 and D wing, a career 36.6% 3-point shooter who can guard multiple positions, but he's also shown he can be more than a role player when asked. Over a 28 game stretch in Philadelphia during the second half of 2024-25 when the Sixers were tanking and lean on him as a primary option. He averaged 22 points, 4.5 assists on efficient shooting last season with the Sixers. Overall, he settled back into a complimentary role of role player, 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists a game. He even spent part of the offseason working out directly with new head coach JJ Redick, which should help him settle into the role. I don't know if I like it. I was never a fan of. I mean, Quentin Grimes, that little stretch, that little 28 game stretch where he's averaging 20, that shit was fraudulent. I mean, they weren't trying to win. It didn't matter. I think they probably fucking lost most of the game. I don't have the exact number in front of you. They probably lost most of them.
I think they
And
won
they would
5 games.
they won 5 games. And just let him go out there and like do his thing. Weren't trying to win, and you know he he's a solid role player for sure. But it's just I'm not. I could have fucked with this deal the same exact money on the 2 years, but I don't understand why they gave all these guys these long 4-year contracts. Because Quentin Grimes, a 4-year, $60 million deal, in 2 seasons, that shit could be fucking awful. Plus, it's the same thing. We said 3 and D. He's not a very good defender. He's all right.
Not really a good 3-point shooter.
Yeah, not he's really not a good defender, not a good 3-point shooter, not really a 3 and D. But I don't like this move for the Lakers. I think they had their guards. They had Sexton, they had Reeves, they had Luca. You know what I mean? They had Bronny. I'm playing, but they had all these guys. They didn't need really. You could have just went and got some light. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of a
Could have
name.
got an actual stopper, wing stopper.
Like a Davion Mitchell. Just like a fucking easy. You don't pay that motherfucker
Keon
much.
Ellis.
Yeah, Keon Ellis. Yeah, he was available too. You could have just signed him, but instead they got Grimes. So we'll see how that works out. No, I'm not a fan of it though.
If you zoom out, they have a big problem. The team doesn't have enough perimeter wings. If you look at the rotation, it's Doncic, Reeves, Sexton, James Hardy, and boom, Bronny James. That is a lot
Demon.
of guards, and it's a lot of guards that can't play defense. Like, I'm just repeating the same thing. They can't play defense. Bronny James, I'll give him that. He's actually surprisingly the best. He's the best defender out of those people.
Yeah, it's 2026, bro. We still using the word defense when we talk about basketball.
Yeah, you're right. My bad. Fuck defense. I want
Blazers winning it all, bro. Brings me to the worst move the Lakers made this offseason, in my opinion. Bringing in Walker Kessler. Let's start with the trade. They traded for Walker Kessler to the Jazz for 2 unprotected first-round picks and 2 first-round pick swaps. For the Lakers, those were valuable assets. They've been holding on to them bitches for years, for seasons. Talking about Giannis, fucking, I don't fucking know, like Jokic, not playing. Well, the actual good players, you know what I mean? And then you trade all those assets for Walker Kessler, a role player. I don't give a fuck when nobody say Walker Kessler is a role player. And then you sign him to an $130 million 4-year contract. When you look at the fit alone, you can definitely, I can see the the vision. You know what I mean? You want a guy who can defend the paint, score in the paint. Right next to Luca, thinking trying to recreate what he had going on in Dallas. And he's a one of the NBA's best offensive rebounders, since he's been in the league in 2022, averaging like 12 rebounds. That's fucking solid. 11 points. But including an NBA leading 4.6 offensive boards with 2 blocks per game in his last healthy season, which was, in 2024 and 25. Only Wemby's averaged more blocks. That's fucking like until he retires. That's probably going to be the case.
Yeah.
But Kessler, I don't like him. Offensively, he's
It's kind of
if
a killer.
he's not under the basket, he's Rudy Gobert on offense, right?
Yeah.
That's what you got. I mean, he can catch oops better. Like he's not as bad as Rudy Gobert. Like you can throw him the ball, he can hold it. Fucking Gobert can't even do that shit.
Yeah,
But
he got baby oil in his hands somehow.
yeah, but he's a pick and roll guy. Just under back somebody down maybe every once in a while, but he can't shoot the three ball. He can't shoot middies.
Can't
He
post
can't
up.
make his own shot. Yeah, he can't. He's cooked. But I mean, and he's a good defender. He's a solid defender. But like I said, there's you paid $130, 130 million for Walker Kessler for a, a paint defender. That's it.
I
It's
mean,
crazy.
if you just look at it, you just gave up 2 unprotected picks, 2 pick swaps, 130 million for a guy who catches lobs and
Yeah, yeah, dead ass. It was also like I said,
injury prone.
yeah, injury prone. Missed pretty much all of last season. What do you play? You played 5 games, right?
Yeah, 5 games.
5 games last season. So let's say, imagine that shit happened again this season. Fucking their season's over immediately before it even started. That shit, like I said, he's injury prone, and there's just I can name 100 other guys who can, you know, bigs that can only play defense and like score directly into the basket,
Come on,
or
then.
like
Oh.
yeah, they're like they're like guards who can only fucking play offense. It's like a common thing to find. You know what I mean?
Next signings the Lakers did was bringing in Kevon Looney for 1 year after they traded DeAndre Ayton to the Wizards for Jaden Hardy. This is not a bad pickup. He's a low usage guy. It's a good backup big, but I feel like they kind of just traded for his like upgraded version though, and I feel like this is like the same player Walker Kessler is, but just 10 years older.
I mean, he has at least he has championship experience, though. You know what I mean? That's always good to have. He actually played like a solid rotational minute. Like he was on a generational run. Now he's fucking trash. You know what I mean? But he's been on the Pelicans. So what that one dude say? There's something in the water over there.
The Lakers made another signing with Zaire Williams. I think Zaire is going to help their wing problem. He's kind of signed after we talked about this, but it's fine. He's a good defender. I'd say, above average. I'd say he's an okay perimeter, like isolation kind of defender. But I want to ask him, hey, I need you to stop Kevin Durant. I need you to stop Jason Tatum. Kawhi, LeBron. Any of these like big wings. You can't really ask him to stop them that well. He's never played with a player like Luca though, where Luca's very good at getting more role players open shots. So if he can't knock down those shots, he's not gonna get as many minutes. It does help their wing problem though, but I just don't think this is enough. I do think they need to do a couple more moves, but for the Lakers, I'm gonna give this not bad, but it's a minimum. So you got to take a risk, especially with this team where you now don't have enough. You don't have a lot of room to do things because of your previous signings. Just take risk on some 1 year deals, see if they're good. Next year, you try to bring them back.
So in conclusion, if this roster doesn't turn into a real like genuine championship contender, which I don't think it will, the Lakers have traded away a massive amount of their assets that they was holding on to for this team that they're locked in on now pretty much, that has never even reached championship level. I see what the Lakers were trying to do here, trying to recreate what Luca had in Dallas, building around Luca. LeBron is out of the picture now, so it's all about Luca. But between all the perimeter questions and especially the $130 million price tag on Kessler and the pressure on Reeves now to elevate to be a solid second option is a very high risk um very high risk team around Luca that could either fucking work or fail very badly.
And the Lakers also don't have any of their own first round picks until 2029. They own it, and then every other pick after that is either gone or swapped. They don't have next year's or the years after. They actually traded 5 of their first round picks over the past 4 years to the Jazz, which
Dude, I
is
feel like the Lakers never have their first round picks, bro. I swear. Yeah, this
actually, yeah, they own almost all their picks to either Memphis, Dallas, or the Utah Jazz. And then apparently they're now trying to do another sign and trade, doing those pick swaps on top of pick swaps to get a good defensive wing, which I'm pretty sure every team's telling them no.
Yo, what can we give you for a defensive wing? Um,
I'm surprised they didn't even try to go for the Jaylen Brown trade.
no, bro, they. I mean, actually, considering what Brown went for, they could have probably got him. Yeah, we'll give you dominating and 4 first round picks. Oh, word. And that's it. That's our opinion on the Lakers all season. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. If y'all think they gonna be a fucking playoff team, a contender next season, or if you think they finna be hot buns like we do. I appreciate y'all, man. Make sure to subscribe, follow, like the video. You know, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Have an absolutely blessed day.